Hello, and welcome back to another development video. When I first spoke on neutral NPCs, I mentioned that there are two types of neutral NPCs. Special NPCs, who run shops, give quests, have minigames, and also stay dead when the player kills them. In order to bring back special NPCs, you need to expend essence points. General NPCs exist to make the world feel populated, randomly picking from several sprites, and fulfilling random tasks. Speaking to them serves to ask for directions and hints for quests. If a general NPC dies, the total amount of general NPCs that spawns in when you re-enter remains unchanged. Now, there are two unique types of general NPCs. If I open up my compendium and go to neutral NPCs and scroll down to the bottom, I have two unique types of general NPCs. Children who cannot die, do not fight, and like to play games. There is also law enforcement now, who has a larger range of detection and can arrest hosts. So what do these look like? Let's take a look. If I go and warp over to the castle area, you can see I have farmers now running around this debug area. There are also children walking around, and when you get near to a child, they start following you. When you talk with them, they ask you to play a game. The only game I have right now is hide and seek, where they will hide somewhere, and if you find them, you get the same buff that opening a present does, which heals you and restores your secondary attack. This game is just a fun little side thing that is not necessary for any completion, but is an early way to restore your player's health. Let's go and attack some of these farmers away from the guards. Most neutral NPCs, like hostile ones, will simply attack you until you die. Law enforcement has a more effective means. Let's get a bit closer so that the guard joins in. Note how when the guard hits me, a little chain appears along the bottom of the current host. It gradually fades away, but resets and gets longer if a guard hits you again. When the chain fully fills in, the current host disappears, but they aren't dead. Let's get out of here and figure out what's happening. I've warped back to the hub world where it's safe. Let's look at my hosts. So, my druid is dead, but my next host is a prisoner. It says I need to spend essence points to liberate the prisoner from the switch host menu. If I try and switch to this host, nothing happens. In order to free this space on my toolbar, I need to spend EP. Let's liberate this space. Alright, so now I have a free spot on my host toolbar. If I exit and try and switch, the same thing happens as before. I cannot switch. Let's fill that spot up again. This feature will make theft and attacking neutral NPCs have much greater implications, since law enforcement ignores any defense buffs, and the chain stays with the player rather than the current host. Now you might be wondering, can't you soft lock the game if you have no EP and all hosts get arrested? Thankfully, I thought of that. In the city here, let's steal something and provoke the police. As I get arrested, host after host, when all hosts are arrested and it sends me to the host selection screen, it auto-liberates the first host spot, preventing any soft locking. Another little update I did, irrelevant to my tasks before beta, is an update to the casual difficulty. A quick rundown on difficulty. So a normal difficulty has it so when a host dies you can spend EP to resurrect the dead host. The EP cost scales to how many hosts are alive. Hardcore has it so your hosts stay dead, no resurrection possible. Median you have 50 lives, but 45 of those lives are locked until completing certain tasks. These two difficulties were perfect, but the casual mode was a bit too much of an easy leap. I had casual set up so hosts would come back with full health whenever they died. This difficulty was originally set up as a no-risk game mode, but it made items like food irrelevant and felt too insultive to casual players. I've updated casual now so that hosts do die when they reach 0 health, but come back to life with 10 HP when you return to the hub world. This update to casual still encourages players to not die in the overworld and RNG forest. However, it does prevent players from spending all their AP on resurrecting dead hosts and eliminates the risk of a game over. This update feels like a perfect step back in difficulty, and now more casual players can play without feeling insulted. And with this update, we step one step closer to beta. As always, thank you for watching, and have a great day.